name is Steve Siddall, your safe money correspondent, and we're taking a look back at the financial safari. We call it Radiovision. First up, Coach Pete talked to us about double dipping what that means, how it works for you. And he also reminded us that people oftentimes leave money behind. He talks about how you can find it and how much of a benefit that can be.
Now, Chris, well, you were in the Navy,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm sure you knew guys that worked in the Navy, guys and gals, gave service for 25 years or whatever, and then retired.
Yeah.
Many
and
young retirees from armed services, 25 years, have
No
a
doubt.
pension. So that's
Exactly.
pretty neat. You know what
Quite
a
few of
pension?
them actually went back to work.
Yeah, and a pension is it's a financial fill-up. Every single year, you're getting a check. But then they do what we call, and I used to love this, we go into the place with the little pink spoons that you can sample ice cream with. We could get double scoops, right?
Yep.
So you double dip. So you've got a pension coming in already, really triple dip, because if you do the Social Security planning strategies, you get Social Security checks.
Wow, yeah.
And then why not go get another job and get
40
another
years
income
old,
work.
getting a pension,
Yep.
and you got another paycheck on the side. You can basically do whatever you want. It's great.
But this report from the state of Texas said the most overlooked source of income is money you've put aside on your own, or have in big accounts like 401ks, because, and they didn't call it a lump sum time bomb because I came up with that, it's because it's a lump sum.
Oh,
And you
okay.
really don't know, you need to translate what that lump sum can mean for a lifetime of yearly income.
And then Coach Pete, T-Money, and Chris talked about money blunders and how to avoid them. In fact, Coach Pete says that you can retire worry-free and has a guide to prove it.
And it brings to mind a famous Seinfeld episode when I think it was George's car wouldn't work, so he left it in the parking lot at Yankee Stadium, and the boss kept coming in every day and see the car there. Birds were using it as a bathroom facility. You remember that show? That was pretty funny, wasn't it?
I remember his boss at first thought he was getting in early and he was getting all these accolades.
George's getting ready to get a raise. So don't try to pull that, Chris, what I'm telling you.
Well, I can't say it didn't cross my mind.
What? So it's just it's funny how we can tie different things into places, but you never take you got your information on how to fix the car. The best way to learn is unfortunately one of the best hands-on and learn from your mistakes. But the even better way is to learn from other people's mistakes. And that's what a true definition of a genius is that you go make all the mistakes. You write a book about your mistakes. I'll buy that book and I'll make sure I don't mess that up. And so we put a lot of those concepts into the free book that we have out right now, How to Retire Worry-Free. And basically some of the mistakes people have made when they've run out of money, we'll show you how you don't have to run out of money making the same mistakes people have made, how people didn't put money aside or in the right places for the rising healthcare costs in retirement because they get bigger.
They most certainly do.
And struggling with daily living expenses, many people are, because they haven't learned the concept of paying themselves first.
Next up, Coach Pete talked about sumo wrestlers and leveling the playing field. How'd that work?
Now, one of the things, though, I want to make sure people need to be what we call retirement ready. It goes along in the whole theme of the show here. People don't know, Chris, and it's I mean, I'm sure you talked. I mean, you're a younger guy, but when you're in the Navy, I'm sure you had some older friends who were wondering when they were going to retire.
I did. I still do.
What did they? I mean, what was some of the concerns they talked about?
What you mentioned earlier, Coach. Top was house payments or car payments. They take them on later in life, and they don't know what to do with them when it finally hits them that this is something they have to pay before they retire.
You need to be like a sumo wrestler in the ring, and you need to push all those expenses out of the ring before you really can retire.
There you go.
If not, they're going to be there to constantly try to push you out of the ring, right?
Yeah.
So it's like playing the king of the mountain with your money. And there are ways to do it the right way. There's other ways to. A lot of people thought they pushed somebody out of the ring, but they were just playing, dead for a minute, and they come back and whack it. So you have to be very careful. So it's about being retirement ready, and keep in mind, no one can predict the unpredictable, and no one can know the unknowable. But here's a way to equal the playing field.
Coach Pete knows there's a lot of plans out there, and he and his team know that you don't need or want a cookie-cutter approach. Everybody is different, and that's what Pete talks about here.
Keep in mind now, I watched a lot of game shows growing up because I wasn't allowed to. I would go to the grandparents' house up in Boston. Dad was a college professor, so he'd say no TV. And, of course, the first thing I would do is
jump for the TV.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So that's match game.
Okay, I've never seen it.
And
Awesome.
so I don't know who the host was back. Maybe it's Chuck Woolery. But anyway, it's matching up people together. And so what we try to do is when people call in from the show, we try to match you with the proper estate planning attorney, the CPAs, and the proper plan in the financial world that goes according to the goals that you tell us. way too many people. And if you tell us certain companies that your financial plan is with right now, we can many times tell you what kind of plan you have
Oh, no,
or where your
really?
money is because they're all cookie cutter.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
You never want us to be able to tell you before you even come in, here's where your money probably is if you're with this company.
Yeah, no doubt. Wow, that's incredible. I had no idea.
And it
I can't think
happens
of something to irritate me
a
more than
whole
paying
lot.
somebody for a custom package and ending up with that.
Matter of fact, Marty Hensley's an expert at that. He'll say these people are coming in from XYZ company. I guarantee they'll have 50% in this mutual fund, 40% in the variable annuity. He nails it.
He nails it,
He
really?
nails it. It's like going to the state fair where the guy guesses your weight or guesses your age. And
Yeah,
you say, how the
sure.
heck did he do that? Marty's got a second career coming, I
I
feel.
love it. I love it.
By the way, Coach Pete trying to remember who hosted the original match game? Yeah, it was Gene Rayburn. Well, next up, one of Coach's favorite subjects, the lump sum time bomb.
Now, who's a big enemy? That's the problem, isn't it? The problem is when we get to retirement, we have a lump sum. Again, what do I call it?
A time bomb.
Yep.
A what time bomb?
Lump sum
A
time
lump
bomb.
sum
Tick,
time
tick,
bomb.
tick.
And so if we try to take it all out at once and put it somewhere, let's say in our checking account, just to make this so we can impress our friends when we go out drinking one night, we go up to the bank machine, you basically go, look at this, guys, you take out $20 and it shows your balance of $800,000.
That's definitely not something I would ever have done.
But then you have to do a double take at that because you thought you had 1.2 million and now the thing says 800,000. What happened?
30% in taxes.
Yeah,
are
you
gone.
lost some taxes. You lost money to taxes. And that's
Wow.
what happens. So you never
Yes.
want to, and it's the big blunder people make every now and then. Now, we're using an extreme example there, but you never want to take money out of your tax-qualified accounts.
You know, when you retire, you want to maintain your lifestyle that you have now. Can it be accomplished? Well, Coach Pete has an answer for you.
Now, tax-qualified accounts are IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, TSPs, 457s, all the different ways you could save pre-tax.
Okay.
And you know why they call it tax-qualified? Because every single penny's qualified to pay taxes. Be very careful on those.
The one government term that half makes sense.
So that's the problem. And now the solution is you never take it out like that.
Yeah.
There's two different solutions. One is before you even get to retirement, you start to do strategic retirement planning that we talk about.
Okay.
And you systematically over a course of years take a certain amount of money out, pay the taxes, and put it into a Roth IRA. Now that money grows tax-free.
Okay.
So you're going to take the tax hit no matter what you do with money that you haven't paid tax on. We
Sure.
need to agree on that, right?
Yeah.
So there's better ways to take it out than taking it all out in a lump sum at retirement.
No doubt.
Because they usually tell you, and I don't agree with this, but a lot of guys will tell you that you're going to be in a lower tax bracket in retirement.
No.
Not if you
Not
take out all the
something we're
money at
planning
one
for.
time. You're going to be in the highest. You're going to be in Donald Trump's tax bracket. You better be careful on
Well,
that.
I just don't understand the mentality of that because in retirement, I at least want to have the same lifestyle I do now, let alone, I mean, me and my wife had talked about how I want to go to China. Let's go to India. Let's see the world. And that sure requires more money than I have now. So I need to prepare for that.
So our guest host, when we ask him what would happen if you took out all your money out of your retirement plan and put it just in your bank account,
Yeah.
Absolute and total catastrophe.
Well, we all know there's plenty of mistakes that can be made heading toward retirement, and Coach Pete and the gang are talking about a few of them. But really, it kind of comes down to what Coach says is greed and fear.
All this talk about the lump sum time bomb, Coach, I've had this vision kind of running through my mind. Got to share it with you. Don't know if you remember the movie Peter Pan with the crocodile.
Well, what's my name? My name is Pete, right?
There you
That's
go.
Peter, so of
There
course
you
he's
go.
my namesake.
So I think of this crocodile following Hook around with that little tick
Yep.
in his head the entire
Yep.
time. Yeah.
You got it.
Anyways, had to get it out there.
And so, again, we're talking about financial blunders, lessons we never learned. And the second part is how naive are we in understanding the market? Great opportunities, but great risks. When someone's telling you this is a can't miss opportunity, what should you do a lot of times? Run.
Yeah.
That's
You
because
should miss
usually
it.
if it's can't miss, everyone would know about it. These days in the information age, Chris, you can agree or disagree, Thomas too. Everyone knows when you know.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
You think you have a secret? There's no such thing as a secret anymore.
No, there's not.
All right. And then another blunder is how to preserve and protect our assets against a plunging market. Now,
Wow.
when the market starts going down, what do a lot of people do?
They panic
They
and
pull that
withdraw.
ripcord. They pull the parachute, don't they?
Yep.
The ejection
They
seat.
hit the button.
Well, and
pull the handle, so
and
to
you
speak.
used an important term there, Coach. When, not if.
Yeah. And so now, what I would look at as when you had, I know, Chris, in the Navy, you worked on the airplanes in the ejection seat. And the proper training for those guys is when you realize there's nothing you can do and you're going down, you pull the
There's
you
a
press
brief
the button,
checklist
right?
you hit and
Yeah.
punch out.
So if you realize that you're in the wrong investment, then there's no better time to get out than now.
Well, that's it, Radio Vision, for this week's Financial Safari Radio Show. If you want to hear the whole show, just go to SafariOnDemand.com. And I'll see you next time. I'm Steve Siddall, your Safe Money correspondent.